Welcome to Crawl or No Crawl. This is Carolyn Holzman, and today is October 14th. If you're having a weird time with your content and your rankings and your traffic, I may have a possible explanation for you. Now, you're looking at the data log of the Indexation Research, and this is where all the dates and times and updates are laid out to confirm, is Google taking in new content or what? And using the bots to also inform what we're seeing. Today is a test day right here. And as you can see, new content was published. The request was made for the indexing API to send a bot and crawl, which they did. So Semrush is back in a normal reading today. You can see here the drop off. So yesterday was high, today we're back to normal. But what I am seeing are even more rollbacks. I would almost say a demarcation, if I could say that, that things before October 10th and after October 10th, there seems to be a difference in what is currently in the index based on this test. Now, it's possible, I'm going to suggest, that might be a bookmark of sorts in the index. And we're seeing some things. Let's look at the bots because something is looking familiar to me. All right, so here was yesterday's. And as you can see, incredibly little bot activity. Now, I know some people were reporting a lot, but in this part of the internet, very few bots. It's almost like if I go back to here for the desktop bots, normally these guys do the refresh crawls, and this is almost like seeing we're cleaning this this loo is closed. That kind of makes me think that something is going on. And second of all, these are the two latest mobile bots, and there's not a lot of back and forth between these current bots, but we do know that they are at the testing phase. And when I say we do know, it's like having seen this over and over and over again. It's kind of like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. When the new bot comes out, they test them against each other. And I've had to close some of the rows here, the columns, but you can see it's like a pattern that repeats itself over and over and over again. One new one shows up, and then it's tested, and then eventually it goes away, and then we're testing the two new ones. Okay, now I want to go back to the data log because again I want to point out there's a lot of rollback on content from previous weeks. On or before October 10th seems to be, something going on. All right. Now, it's also more, let me go back over here. Looking at this, now I'm not saying it's like the one that popped up at the end of the update finishing. I think that was just rolling things out. But over here, back around, this was, a lot of people were reporting a lot of volatility around this time. And I think we also see super low number of bots. So that's where I'm saying like it seems familiar. So I think that I'm getting better at noting the rollback situations. So I think what we're seeing is Google testing. Now, hold on a minute, because you may say like, well, Carolyn, I thought you said yesterday it might be, pushing out of recalculated data streams. And that is also possible. I did think it might be backlinks because, looking at the time of year, it kind of makes sense. And it could still be a possible explanation. And then I started to see and hear a lot of chatter yesterday about sites getting attacked and traffic dropping, etc. And hearing that and knowing that we're in that bot Chrome build testing phase, I'm going to say that it could be a larger than normal testing section. And there are some of us, like this site, where we've been kind of put on the sidelines while they test another section of the index. Now, it's interesting that, like I say, that the rollbacks seem to cover content between the last page coverage update, and which happened on the 12th, and the data updated to the 10th. So it's possible that, like I say, that could be a bookmark so that they know everything. They're going to shift everything here forward and then restore it back. Now, I do feel a bit like Dr. House at the point in the show where he was always saying, maybe we're seeing the results of both diseases and it's not one or the other. Well, the thing about rollbacks is they always end with things being put back into place. And something else that I've discovered is that sometimes I think they do lose a few things, which is why in the Search Console, if you look at your page coverage, you might see, it might surprise you to see some content that is showing not indexed. And so everybody kind of goes like, oh no. But if you're using the Google Indexing API, simply select, gather up your URLs. And if you're using the Indexing API, just paste them in there and have them recrawled. That works. So I think it's more indicative of when you've got this much data that you're moving around, a couple of apples are going to fall off the cart here and there. But this happens to be a super huge cart and a gazillion apples. So you might be part of the apples that fall off, but the nice thing is you can catch up. So make sure if you are not using the Indexing API, it is the way I recommend getting indexing, because if you wait for Google, it's going to take them 2 months. And I have data to prove it. Take care. Hang in there. As they say, hang on to your wigs and keys. We're going to get through this.